Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Sunday Night Football postgame show and Monday Night Football doubleheader update show. We're going to talk about last night's Sunday night game and tonight's doubleheader Monday night games and what we expect to happen and what's going on with them so far. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football Week 4 trivia question. And it's a Lions trivia question. How many times in his career did Barry Sanders have more than 100 yards receiving in a game? I'll have the answer later on the podcast. Well, let's recap the Sunday night game. Derrick Henry was off and running from the first time he touched the ball. There was no way the Buffalo Bills were stopping the Baltimore Ravens after that, who were previously unbeaten, the Buffalo Bills. Not anymore. Henry busted out the longest run in the team's 29 years in Baltimore on the way to a 199-yard game. Lamar Jackson threw for 2 touchdowns and rushed for another, and the Ravens handed Josh Allen and the Bills their first loss of the season, 35-10 on Sunday night. Henry took his first handoff 87 yards to the house to give the Ravens, who are now 2-2, an early lead, and they never relinquished. Jackson, the two-time and reigning NFL MVP, completed 13 of 18 passes for 156 yards with TD throws to Henry and Justice Hill, and ran for 54 yards with Buffalo, who are now 3-1, finding no answers to stop Buffalo's offense. The Bills are a great team, Henry said. They've been hitting on all cylinders. We played a great game against them tonight. We were the better team tonight, but I'm sure they'll fix things the next coming up weeks, excuse me. We're just focused on being 1-0 this week. Henry tormented the Bills in prime time for the second time in his career, averaging 8.3 yards on his 24 carries, 3 years after running for 143 yards and 3 TDs against them while with Tennessee. His 5-yard reception from Jackson in the end zone in the second quarter was just the 4th TD catch of his career and first since 2019. If he gets into the secondary, he's pretty much gone, and it's hard to catch him because he's fast, Jackson said of Henry. He's not just a powerful back. So much went right for the Ravens that even when Henry fumbled at the goal line early in the fourth, Patrick Ricard fell on the ball for their 5th touchdown of the night. That's going to haunt me, Henry said about fumbling and falling a yard short of 200. Plenty will haunt Buffalo as a bevy of injuries on defense finally took their toll, and a lack of depth, playmakers, and experience was exposed for a team that looked like one of the league's best through the opening 3 weeks. Allen, who scrambled to make one spectacular 52-yard throw to Khalil Shanker that set up Ty Johnson's TD run, fumbled trying to make another play, and was 16 of 29 passing for 180 yards. Excuse me. They came out with urgency and whooped our butt and said Allen, who was replaced by backup Mitch Trubisky in the fourth. Not everything was bad in this game. I don't want us to come away from this thinking we're the worst. Lot to learn from, and I'm glad this happened early in the season so we can correct things. The Ravens outgained the Bills 427 yards to 236 in a dominant performance that had players happy but not wanting to get ahead of themselves. We didn't win the Super Bowl today, said safety Kyle Hamilton, who recovered Allen's fumble and had a team high 7 tackles. Big win for us today, but we've got to move forward to next week. It's only week 4. We've got a long road ahead of us, but I think we're on a good path. The Bills NFL record streak of 43 regular season games without a loss by 6 or more points came to an end. Their last defeat, this was lopsided, 41-15 in Indianapolis on November 21st, 2021. Also, the last time they allowed as many yards rushing. Buffalo's run of 8 straight consecutive regular season wins, the longest active in the league history, also ended. On an individual basis, the Allen to Shakir connection that resulted in 30 consecutive targets ended with a pass breakup late in the second half. It was the most in a row by a receiver since at least 1991. Bill's safety Taylor Rapp was concussed trying to tackle Henry early in the second quarter. Shakir right ankle and had right ankle injury, and center Colin McGovern had a head injury and left briefly in the first half before returning. Ravens left guard Andrew Voorhees was out because of an ankle injury. Patrick uh, uh, Mikarai moved over to fill in with rookie Roger Rosegarten, making his first career start at right tackle. Well, Buffalo will have to regroup from this loss, but I think they'll still be a good team. They're at Houston in NRG Stadium to take on the Texans this Sunday, and the Ravens are at Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, who got their first win yesterday over the Carolina Panthers yesterday. So, without further ado, I've got to give the game balls to the Baltimore Ravens. I got to give them to them. Lamar Jackson, 13 of 18 carries and attempts, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 24 attempts, 199 yards, 1 short to 101 touchdown. And Justice Hill, 78 yards, 1 touchdown, 6 receptions. So, and we will get to the Monday Night Football doubleheader in just a moment. Right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football Week 4 trivia question. And as I said, it's a lines trivia question. How many times in his career did Barry Sanders have more than 100 yards receiving in a game? And if you said 2, you are correct. Barry had 135 yards receiving against the Kansas City Chiefs in 1990 and 102 yards against Tampa Bay in 1991. And I have another trivia question on my next podcast, which will be for my Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football pregame show. So stay tuned for that. Well, it's Monday Night Football Week 4, and we have another doubleheader for you tonight. In the early game, the Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins are battling it out right now at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. Both the Titans and Dolphins are reeling and needing a win to get their season back on track. Miami's Tua Tagovailoa was placed on IR, injured reserve, with a concussion, and the Dolphins have lost 2 in a row, including a 20-43 blowout loss to the Seahawks last week in Week 3. On the other sideline, the Titans have lost 3 straight games to begin the season. In Week 3, the Green Bay Packers beat the Tennessee Titans 31-14. And right now, it's in the third quarter. They're in Miami. 9-3, a very low-scoring game. Field goals mainly. Tennessee looking to get their first win of the season. Miami looking to even up their record at uh, uh, 2-2. And I'm gonna read the preview because I like to do that. Uh, Mike McDaniel has an idea of who will start at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins against the Titans on Monday night. For now, he's keeping it to himself. Asked about the state of his quarterback carousel, the Dolphins said Thursday, "That's it. That is premature. Excuse me, for a multitude of reasons." To name a starter, citing competitive advantage as one. A lot has gone on the last 48 hours, McDaniel said. Instead of wishing something into existence, I'll let it play out. The quarterbacks that will be participating today will get action on a great opportunity as the week progresses. I'll be sure to shout it from the top of a building when we know that. With Tua Tagovailoa silent for at least several more weeks with a concussion, the Dolphins turned to backup Skylar Thompson last week at Seattle. Thompson went down too, and his status against Tennessee is in question because of a rib injury. He was limited at practice on Thursday and appeared in pain as he jogged on the field. If the quarterback is unable to make his second straight start, that leaves Tim Boyle and newcomer Tyler Snoop Huntley as Miami's options. McDaniel turned to Boyle when Thompson went down last Sunday, partially because he did not want to rush Huntley onto the field after signing with the team last Tuesday. The coach said he is growing very, very encouraged with Huntley's grasp of the offense. Huntley was praised by his Ravens teammates in the past when he took over the offense for an injured Lamar Jackson, and his new Dolphins teammates have expressed the same confidence. For me, I have seen it. I've been watching film of him since he got there, receiver Tyreek Hill said, and I'm like, this dude can make every throw. This dude's special with his legs. He's a special talent. Added Huntley. I just hope I can continue to build toward their confidence, and I plan to. Uh, it'll be the second straight week that the Titans 0-3 go into a game not knowing who will be their opposing starting quarterback. Tennessee didn't know the status of Green Bay starter Jordan Love until game day, with the Packers scratching Love about 90 minutes before kickoff. He continues to be recovering from an injury. While McDaniel indicated Thursday that he could name a starter before Monday, the Titans have their suspicions about who they might face. We've got to prepare for Snoop, said Tennessee defensive coordinator Denard Wilson, who was the Ravens secondary coach when Huntley was in Baltimore. He brings a different element. You know he can run the ball. They can run some of the option stuff and things in things the zone read red. So we have got to be prepared both ways. The Titans are coming into the matchup having lost 21 of 27 games. They have not scored 30 or more points in 38 straight, dating to January 2nd, 2022, in a 34-3 win over Miami. Quarterback Will Levis, whose last win as a starter was against the Dolphins last December, said desperation isn't the right mindset for a team looking for his first victory. You can't go You can't go in thinking we have to win. We have to win, Levis said. It's just what, it's just, we have to execute. We have to execute the game plan. There's no situation that you're put in really where it is appropriate to stray from that game plan. Uh, the Titans pride themselves on playing stingy defense and have gotten off to a good start under Wilson, but Wilson said they missed 15 missed tackles in last week's loss to the Packers. Defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons said the team spent Wednesday going over the paper cut mistakes that cost them. Tennessee allowed 188 yards on rushing on 5.1 yards, per attempt. We didn't tackle well, is I think the biggest thing, Simmons said, but we know teams are not going to come and try to run the ball down the middle of our defense. Same things that we saw last week. It's going to be the of same type of plays we see this week, and that's the perimeter run, and that's the perimeter runs. And we just have to do a better job, at the perimeter runs, and that'll fix our defense. Titans cornerback L'Jarius Sneed knows Hill well from their time making each other better as teammates in Kansas City. They last faced off in the playoffs before the Chiefs traded Sneed to Tennessee this offseason. Hill posted a social media video of the cornerback sending him off to Cancun after the Dolphins lost, which Sneed thought was funny. Sneed also knows the challenge he'll face Monday night. No key slowing Tyreek, Need said. Hill's the NFL's leading receiver in 2023. He has seen a big drop in his production so far. He has 13 catches on 23 targets for 194 yards and one touchdown. That's down from 25 catches on 35 targets for 412 yards and four touchdowns through 3 weeks last season. Hill said there are several reasons he hasn't made a big impact, including the changes at quarterback. He also expressed optimism in the Dolphins receivers' ability to get separation and make plays. Well, we're still fast, aren't we? Hill said. There's a lot of things that go into that. A lot of people see things differently. Tua may see something different than Boyle. Boyle may see something different than Skyler. Snoop may see something different than Tua. It's all about timing and trust, building that relationship with the quarterback. And that's what it is all about. And right now, still 9-3 Titans. It's 9:02 left to go in the third quarter. Miami is about to kick off. And yes, and Tyler Huntley, I think, is quarterbacking tonight. I think. Let me go to the box score and see who is for Miami tonight. It is Tyler Huntley. He is quarterbacking tonight. Yes. And right now, 9:02, and it's 9. Miami kicked the field goal. It's 9-6. Titans 9:02 to go. Miami's about to kick off. And we'll see if the Titans can hold on. If they can, they need to score a touchdown. They would like to, I know. Now in the late game. The Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions are clashing right now at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Detroit will look to go to 3-1, and the Seahawks will look to go to 4-0 and remain undefeated. Both teams are coming off big wins last week. And I'll do the preview for that one. And but before I do that, it is 21-7 Lions with 5 seconds in the second quarter left till halftime. 2nd and 5 at the Detroit 44. The Seahawks have the ball. All right, now I will do the preview. I just want to read it. Dan Campbell has a lot to be proud of, leading the Detroit Lions to success they had not enjoyed for generations. The Lions won the NFC North last season. Excuse me, their first division title in 3 decades, and earned 2 playoff victories and 1 postseason for the first time since winning the 1957 NFL title. Campbell, though, has been humbled by the Seahawks losing to them in each of the last 3 seasons. You get tired of that, he said. You get tired of that after one loss, much less 3. The NFC West leading Seahawks, who are 3-0 and look to remain undefeated and go to 4-0, have another shot to beat Campbell. Led the Lions, who are 2-1, looking to go to 3-1 at Ford Field Monday night, which is going on right now. And if Seattle keeps the 3 going in the series, Mike McDonald will join Josh McDaniels as the second NFL coach younger than 40 to start 4-0 since 1933. McDaniels did it in 2009 with the Broncos. Even though the 37-year-old McDonald is his first season with the Seahawks, the Lions are well aware of what he can do after facing him at Baltimore's defense as Baltimore's defensive coordinator last year when the Ravens routed Detroit. Routed Detroit 38-6. The game kind of got out of hand early, said McDonald, who was Michigan's defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh during the 2021 season. Seattle's new offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, has created a scheme that spreads the ball around to more than one primary receiver. In the opener, Tyler Lockett had 6 catches in week 2. Jackson Smith, Najiba had a career-high 12 catches in last week. Tight end Noah Fant led the team with 6 receptions. DK Metcalf, meanwhile, used his size and speed and strength to have touchdown receptions of 71 yards and 56 yards the past 2 weeks. Grubb was known for using options during his 2 seasons as offensive coordinator for the Washington Huskies, and that philosophy has carried over in his role with the Seahawks. The great part about my job is that it's easy because I have to read the defense and get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. Seattle quarterback Geno Smith said, "I let the defense dictate what is going to be on that day." A matchup to watch will be Jared Goff against the NFL's top-ranked team against the pass. Detroit's quarterback has thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes through 3 games and isn't stretching the field very often with deep passes. The Seahawks are the first team since the 1979 Pittsburgh Steelers to win their first 3 games while holding each opponent to fewer than 150 yards passing. What we've been able to do over the past 3 weeks, it shows for itself, when you cut the tape on, and Seattle safety Rayshon Jenkins said, "Everybody's just flying around having fun and making plays." While the defense has been impressive, it has not faced the formidable signal callers Denver rookie Bo Mix and New England journeyman Jacoby Brissett and Miami backup Skylar Thompson. Seattle has been without top edge rusher Johanna Noswu for the first 3 games because of a sprained knee. suffered in the preseason. There's a chance uh, Nwosu returns on Monday night because there hasn't been a drop-off with him out. Second-year outside linebacker Derek Hall had a career-high 2 sacks last week, giving him 3 this season. Third-year pro Boyle Math has 1 sack in each of the first 3 games. The Seahawks are among the league leaders in pressure rate and have done so without needing to blitz extensively. McDonald's as good as it gets at generating that pressure and finding a way to get free rushers, Goff said. If the game is close as expected, the Lions may lean on punter Jack Fox to be one of their key players. Fox was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week after pinning Arizona inside it's 20 on 4 of his 5 punts, and including a career high 3 inside the 10 and 1 inside the 5. And that's basically, and right now, it is halftime, and the Lions are dominating the Seahawks 21-7 right now at Ford Field in Detroit. I'm going to tell you where we stand, so I'm going to go back to the first quarter. First quarter, the Lions had the punt after going 3 and out, 3 plays, 10 yards, minus 10 yards. And then the Seahawks had the punt after going 3 and out, 4 plays, 27 yards. And then the Lions scored their first touchdown of the game. Skipper Montgomery left tackle for the 1-yard touchdown. Bates' extra point was good, and it was 7-0 Seattle and 7-0 Detroit, excuse me. And then Seattle had a fumble after 5 plays for 33 yards. It was first and 10 at the Detroit 48, excuse me. Geno Smith passed short left to DK Metcalf to the Detroit 34 for 14 yards. And fumbles recovered by Detroit. It was I think Davis at the Detroit 37, pushed out of bounds at the Seattle 14 for 49 yards. And then Detroit scored their second touchdown of the game. Gibbs, right tackle for the 3-yard touchdown. The first goal to Seattle 3, but Gibbs for the right tackle for the 3-yard touchdown. Bates' extra point is good. It was 14-0 Detroit at the end of the first quarter. Then the Seattle Seahawks scored their first touchdown of the game. Walker up the middle for the 1-yard touchdown. And Myers' extra point is good. It was 14-7 Detroit. And then the Lions scored their third touchdown of the game. Gibbs right tackle for the 1-yard touchdown. Bates' extra point is good. And it was 21-7 Detroit. Seattle had the punt to going 3 and out. 8 plays, 25 yards. Then Detroit had the punt to going 3 and out. 3 plays minus 1 yard. And then just before halftime, it was the first and 10 at the Detroit 49. Geno Smith passed short right to DK Metcalf, ran out of bounds to the Detroit 44 for 5 yards. And so there was a second and 5 at the Detroit 44. They got in the field goal range. Myers' 62-yard field goal was no good. It was blocked. And it was blocked by Stoll and Dickinson and Dorsey at the Detroit 9 to the Detroit for minus 9 yards to the Detroit 22 for 31 yards. And there was a penalty on Seattle. It was Curtis for the face mask, and it was declined. And right now, that's where we stand. It is 21-7 halftime, and Seattle's going to have to really come back on and play hard in that second half if they want to get the win. And former MLB manager and all-time hits leader Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83. And he will always be remembered as the Reds' all-time hitter. And so he was 83 years old, Pete Rose. And I have taken Miami and Tennessee. I know I'm taking Miami and I've taken Detroit. So is my brother-in-law. I am 6-7. My brother-in-law is Eric Hoyle is 8-6. So the best I can do is 9-7. My brother-in-law is going to win the picks for this week. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Sunday Night Football postgame show and Monday Night Football update show. And I'll be back with the Monday Night Football postgame show once both games have concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.